Hi, I'm Dr. Corinne Chapman, and in my experience as a veterinarian, over the last 18 years, I have witnessed a health crisis in our pets. About 15 years ago, I started to really notice that so many pets were coming in with chronic and debilitating disease that just didn't make sense. At that time, I also was noticing my own pets' health crisis. Two of my cats were in kidney failure at 8 years of age. One of my dogs was so itchy, he would chew, scratch, and harm himself all day and all night long. One of my dogs had arthritis so bad that she was on daily anti-inflammatories. And they were all overweight with a fair degree of dental tartar and gum disease. So I started to think to myself, there must be something that all of these pets have in common that is causing this issue. And it all came down to diet. And it all started to make sense. Our pet cats and dogs are carnivores. They're literally meant to eat meat, bone, and eat organ meat, a whole carcass or biologically appropriate whole prey diet. So I started looking into that as well and researching what that would require. And that's when I made a trip down to Tailblazers. And I met Tamara Lowe and Brent Hauberg, and the rest is really history. That night I came home with a bucket full of raw food products, and we started on our own journey in the raw food world. About a month after feeding them raw food, my two cats on paper were still in kidney failure, but were improving their blood levels. My itchy dog was still itchy, but wasn't destroying himself to the point of bleeding, oozing skin, and he didn't smell nearly as bad. All 6 of them had less dental tartar, but it was still there. Their breath was improved, but still pretty raunchy. My arthritic dog was moderately improved. She was happier and she had better mobility for sure. But they did have a sparkle in their eye. 2 months later, I started noticing so much more change. The dental tartar and gum disease was pretty much non-existent. Not only was I thrilled that this was saving them the stress of anesthesia and potential surgery and dental extractions, but I was also thrilled because their breath smelled better, and it meant that I was going to save some money as well in the long term. My cats were much more energetic. They'd lost some weight and they were feeling well. While on paper, they were still in kidney failure. They looked like 2 happy 8-year-old cats. My arthritic dog was more mobile. She wanted to go on longer hikes and enjoyed her time outdoors. And she was no longer on a daily anti-inflammatory. I only gave it to her when she really needed it. My itchy dog had gone from crazy, oozy, smelly skin and incredible itching to this beautiful, glorious coat, no more body odor, and he wasn't keeping us up at night with his scratching. I think the biggest thing I noticed, though, in the end, was this incredible vitality. They all went from these crazy couch potatoes, or not crazy, boring couch potatoes, to these crazy, lively, happy critters. And that meant so much to me. I still get goosebumps when I think of this because they changed, and it was such a visible change. People noticed it all the time when they came over. And so I started to view my pet patients, cats and dogs, as carnivores. Carnivores are meant to eat meat, bone, and organ meat with a little bit of veggie and fruit matter in the mix. They were never meant to eat carbohydrate-laden, heavily processed pet food full of corn, soy, and wheat. Why were so many companies making these pet foods that were supposedly scientifically researched, when really in the end we were feeding our pets all wrong and causing disease, not preventing it? I started to recommend these pet foods, raw pet foods, to my clients, and I started to see the difference in their pets as well. I started to see pets with vibrant, happy, clear eyes, less vomiting and diarrhea. Their guts were clearing up. There's less skin conditions and odor. I would smell less and less this yeasty, horrific odor when they wafted in the room. They smelled good, they looked good, their coats were healthy and clean. I wasn't seeing as many kidney diseases and liver conditions. In essence, I was seeing a very vibrant, healthy, happy pet. Not only were they enjoying the variety and the new diet, but they were living and thriving instead of just surviving. Remember that raw diets are not a cure-all. They're not a miracle diet. They will certainly, in most cases, provide a much healthier diet option and a much healthier pet, but they can't necessarily fix everything. I recommend a variety of ways of feeding our pets, whether it be raw foods, canned, cooked, or even sometimes kibble diets. It's just remembering that each individual is unique. Raw diets are certainly also not a replacement for good veterinary care. And in the end, I still recommend a good relationship with your local veterinarian. And hopefully they're raw friendly. So visit your local Tailblazers to get more information on how to get your dog or cat on a raw food diet.